Hi everyone, Mr. H here. This is the beginning of Unit 2, Human Resource Management, and Part 1 of Chapter 2.1, Functions and Evolution of Human Resource Management. In this part of the presentation, we will explain human resource management, the human resource plan, and labor turnover, and we will also explore the factors, the external and internal factors that affect the human resources plan. So let's get started. In short, human resource management is an approach or a set of strategies that a business takes for effective management of the employees, of the staff of your business. So, the set of strategies, of plans, and specific moves you follow to organize all your employees is part of the human resource management section or function of your business. There will be a department in charge of all these aspects or someone in your business, even the owner himself, if it's a sole trader, will be in charge of designing, planning, and executing all these strategies in terms of how to best manage your employees. Okay, so in order to get that, we have a human resource plan, and human resource planning includes considering the right number of people that you need in your business. How many workers do you actually, or employees do you actually need? It's about knowing or identifying which specific skills, experience, and competencies you want them to have in order to work effectively in every single job position. That must be also decided beforehand. It is also telling the right time for hiring these specific workers or employees, and also deciding what the right cost is. I mean, talking about salaries, how much you're going to pay to each of these specific employees in their specific positions with their specific expectations, experience, and skills and competencies, and again, the right number. So all these decisions must be made before you start working or the business starts functioning, and on the run, you have to keep doing or keep making these decisions to tell what to do in terms of employees, in terms of the people working in your business. An important concept to consider when we start thinking about human resources is labor turnover. Labor turnover is the movement of employees in and out of the business. Is a percentage value that shows how much people is leaving your business um, periodically on a specific time period. Okay, so in other words, it's a measure of the labor stability in your business. To calculate that, we have a formula. It is dividing the number of staff living in a year, so how many people is actually living in a specific year, and the average of staff employed in a year against how many employees you actually have employed in that year times 100, and you get a percentage. Naturally, the goal is to have the least labor turnover ratio or percentage to feel that you are a stable business. Businesses with a higher, I mean, more than 30, 40, 50, 60% turnover every year would show that they are not really stable, that workers are not staying long, and that would be a process problem. I mean, a problem in the effectiveness and functionality of the business, and also a problem in the environment, all the labor environment, or the working environment of your business. So, if the labor turnover is too high, then this might be because there is a dissatisfaction of your workers. Maybe the pay is not enough. Maybe the environment is not good enough. Maybe they are not comfortable. Maybe management is not working well, or maybe there are better job opportunities outside, and this is why they are leaving. If this happens, if people start leaving, if labor turnover gets too high, there will be lower productivity. Obviously, those who stay will have to keep on working, taking the burden of the ones not being there, or having to train the new ones you are hiring. Of course, also recruiting and training new people would cost you time and money. So it will be an additional cost if people are leaving too often. And obviously, because you have new people coming into your business, there will be an interruption in work practices and routines because Some of your workers will become mentors, teaching to the new ones. There will be some time spent training. The new ones will not be as effective as the ones who already knew how to do things in your business. So having a high labor turnover is a problem because it is affecting the effectiveness and proper long-term functioning or working of your business. Having a low labor turnover is good. It mostly shows that you're a stable business, but you have to consider that keeping the same workers in the long term might lead to contentment. I mean, just being fine of doing the same thing all the time, not being willing to do big changes or any huge progressions or any actual improvements. They might start being some lack of progression or innovation because there are no new ideas coming in. So again, just keeping the same workers for 10, 15, 20 years without any changes also might prove to be not as effective as expected. And then remember that bringing new people to your business is also bringing new energy and new ideas and new strengths that would actually add up to your forces. So that's something to consider. Again, it's way better to have a low labor turnover, but you have to think very closely on these values at all times. Let's move forward. When you plan your human resources plan, when you start thinking about what to do with your business, there are specific factors that may influence uh, your plans. There are first external factors. Basically, consider the pool of labor, the workers available for work outside, and how possible for you as a business is to find the proper workers for your business, the proper employees for your business. This depends on a number of factors that may affect your plans. Number one, some technological changes outside may influence training of people, having people not being able to handle new technologies or being able to handle new technologies. So technological change would affect your access to people ready to cope with new technologies, for example. Government regulations and laws might limit or somehow regulate or model the ways we can hire people. So the government will set up some specific regulations in different countries or different regions depending on situations. So you have to be aware of those regulations in order to know or understand how to hire and then keep training and keep your workers and to provide them all the labor rights and all the benefits that they are supposed to get. Demographic change, like the birth or fertility rates. I mean, the way people changes in demographics, how many young people or old people you have around in the country and the region where your business is. Migration patterns, people, how many people do actually move out of the region or the city of the country, not staying in your country and becoming workers or employees in your business. Retirement age is also a factor to consider, and even aging and death rates also, because this will let you know exactly what kind of people you count on for your business. Social trends. This is, I mean, any social changes would also affect the way people prepare for life and act, and it will affect the expectations of people. Role of women in different areas is different. There are still problems of inequality between men and women in terms of pay and labor conditions, and that's something also to consider. There are family patterns in different areas that would also affect in terms of expectations of workers or employees, and also leisure, which is a human need for every worker or every employee or every human being, must also be considered. State of the economy would also has also it has to be considered because it would affect and also changes in education. More educated people or less educated people would change your access to the right employees. And labor mobility, which is occupational mobility. I mean, to what extent they can actually change occupations over a period of time. I mean, your employees or the people around you, or geographical mobility. To what extent people in your area is able and willing to move from city to city to work or from country to country to work. So those aspects also change depending on where your business is situated. So all these external considerations must be taken into account when you are planning your strategies for human resources. There are also internal factors that, I mean, things that happen within the business that would also affect your HR plan. Like, for example, changes in the business organization, like, for example, an acquisition, a merge, a joint venture might lead you to reorganizing your business, changing positions, maybe firing or telling someone to go, or hiring new people with specific skills. So, all these specific changes in organization might lead you to changes in your HR plan, changes in labor relations. I mean, if there is a union of your workers or employees, what you agree with them, their requirements would lead you also to make some specific changes to keep our relationship the best possible with your workers. So, does any changes in labor relations may affect your HR plan. Changes in business strategy. I mean, any specific growth or new plans or changes in the market or the business reorienting itself into something new, thinking of a new product or a new market would lead them to make specific changes in HR. Why? Because you may need new workers with new skills for the new product or the new plan or the new project, and this might require some adjustments. And finally, changes in business finance. I mean, economical changes, increase or decrease in sales, costs or access to different resources, liabilities or debts that you have, or any issues with profitability. I mean, any issues with the revenues or what's coming into the business in terms of money may affect your HR plan in terms of salaries, in terms of how many people you would actually be able to hire or pay in a specific time period. So any of these four aspects are internal things that happen in the business that will affect or influence your decisions in terms of human resources. So we will make a stop here. We have just considered what HR is, labor turnover as a concept and calculation, and the factors that would influence external and internal your HR plan. In the next video, we will take a look at the most important strategies and steps of your human resources plan. So this is it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.